Hello, mighty companions, in person and online. This is Earl Purdy. I want to welcome you to a course in how not to go crazy. A course in miracles. A course in miracles. A course in miracles. And we're going to talk about how we can interpret all the things that's going on right now in the world and in our lives in such a way that we can keep our peace. Would you like to keep some peace? Yes. Yes, I would like to keep peace. I would like to keep peace because right now we're in the lab, and right now we are being tested to see where we're really coming from, what we really believe, what we're really about, for real. It is the time. It's what I call, like when I used to be in the theater, it was what we call showtime.
It's showtime.
It's showtime. We through with the dress rehearsals. Now everybody's going to really find out what they're really about, because the world as we know it is going to change so much in the next 24 months that it's going to blow everybody's mind. And remember, I told you first as your friendly neighborhood Course in Miracles teacher, astrologer, and numerologist. This world is about to change in levels and in ways that mankind this time around has never seen before. So we are miracle workers, and there are two thoughts that we had last week that we were working on, and that was lesson 56, and we're going to go into lesson 57 in a minute, but I want to make sure that we hear what lesson 56 is saying. And so there are 5 thoughts, and these 5 thoughts are my attack thoughts are attacking mind vulnerability. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be on page 92 in the workbook, which is the middle book. Oh, okay. Hey, so God is in everything I see. It's the idea that we left off on last week. So today, now, what we want to substitute for the word God, we want to substitute the word love. Love, that which created us, is love. We are love. We're lovable. We're luscious. We're juicy. We're alive. We're powerful. We are totally and completely a treasure. We are unlimited in how much we deserve to be appreciated and to be acknowledged and to be recognized. And we heard last week that the world that we see reflects the image that we have of ourselves, which I thought was really interesting. I'm going to say that again. The world that we see is a reflection of our image of ourselves, was what we heard last week. And so we left off at the idea that said God or love is in everything I see, which is on page 93 in the workbook. So don't forget, if you're a student of the Course in Miracles, it has its own way that you learn it. And the way that you learn it is to remember that you don't have to believe anything that you hear me say, which is pretty easy for most people. You don't have to accept anything that you hear me say. You don't have to welcome anything that you hear me say. And also, some of the ideas you might resist. I might say some things that you resist. Not only that, I might say some things that startle you and that's very hard to believe. So we already know that we might hear something that's hard to believe. If we already know we might hear something that we resist. If we already know that we might hear something that's startling, then what do? Well, the Course says, well, I'm not asking you to judge the ideas. I'm asking you to be willing to use the ideas, because if you use the ideas will show you that the ideas are true. If you use the ideas. So the number one lesson that I like to get people to kind of use as a foundation in the Course in Miracles is lesson 2, which is, I have given everything I see all the meaning that it has for me. That is the foundation of changing your mind. Once a person begins to get that they're the one that's giving everything that's going on in their life the meaning that it has, and whenever a person gets that, they're responding to the meaning that they're giving to it, and that meaning is determining how you feel, then you've discovered the key to happiness. So what would be the key to happiness? I'll say it again. you are giving me talking to you all the meaning that it has. You are going to give what I say today all the meaning that it has to you. You're giving your partner, if you have one, whatever meaning they have for you, your job, your relationship, your relatives, your financial situation, everything that's going on in your life, you're the one that's giving it the meaning that it has for you. Can we agree on that much? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, that means then that what I'm feeling is coming from what I'm thinking, right? If I'm the one that's giving it the meaning, then I'm reacting to the meaning, then I'm the one who's determining how I feel. I used to believe I didn't have any control over my feelings, that other people could make. I used to say stuff like, and I know you all have never done that, but I used to say stuff like, that person makes me mad, or that person is upsetting me. Well, the Course in Miracles is saying, wait a minute, let's go back to what we just heard. I'm giving this situation all the meaning that it has for me, so I'm the one that's giving myself the feeling that I'm having because of what I'm telling myself. Everybody still with me? Okay, so then the Course says, and we left off at idea number 4 in lesson 56, which is page, 93, okay? And that is, God is in everything I see. So that's the same as saying, love is in everything I see. Now, do I necessarily see it? Nah. But love is there. And that means behind every image that you have made, guess what it says? Behind every image that you've made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will, and it's united with the will of my Creator. So love is still everywhere. Truth is still everywhere. God's Spirit is still everywhere and in everything forever. Why don't I see it? Why don't I see love and peace in everything? Well, notice that very first sentence says what? Behind every image I have made. Behind the image that I have of the person that upset me last night is the peace that I could be giving myself. So the love is behind all the images that I see. That's why you have to really be careful not to get too caught up in what you're hearing and what you're seeing in the world, because you're seeing images, and behind those images are the truth. So love is still everywhere and in everything forever, and we are part of love. We are part of the Creator, and we will at some point look past all appearances. At some point you're going to start looking past the way things seem to be, and you're going to recognize that there is truth on the other side of everything you see. So how do I make that practical? Whatever you're going through right now, whatever you're worried about, whatever you're concerned about, behind whatever you're telling yourself, there's the truth. Behind whatever you're telling yourself right now is the truth. Behind whatever you're feeling right now is the truth. Behind whatever's concerning you right now is another way to look at it. The truth is another way to look at it. The truth is what? The truth is another way to look at it. The truth is, and what is another way to look at it? Well, another way to look at it is for me to realize that behind all the images that I'm making of all of you, the truth is still there. The love is still there. What's real is still there. The truth is always what? Another way of looking at it that gives you more peace. So one day you're going to realize that every time you're upset, it means there's a meaning that you're giving to a situation that you're upsetting yourself about. And the truth is there's another way to look at it. The truth is there is love on the other way of looking at it. So there's love in you. There's love in me, but I have to get past my thoughts about you sometimes in order to get to the loving perception that's there. So if you check it out, the very next sentence says, God is in everything I see. What's our definition of God? Love. is in everything I see. The Creator, love, is in everything I see. But why is the Creator love in everything we see? Why is truth in everything we see? Why is love in everything I'm seeing right now? Because love is in my mind. Truth is in my mind. So the way I see you in my mind is the way I see you. Okay, we agree? The way I'm thinking about you in my mind is the way I'm seeing you. So love is in everything I see because love is in my mind. Peace is in everything I see because I have thoughts of peace in my mind. So if your life sucks, for whatever reason, you got suck thoughts that's in your mind. You got angry thoughts that's in your mind. You have fearful thoughts that's in your mind. So would fearful people see a fearful world? Would angry people see an angry world? Would people who believe that there's only lack in themselves see a world of lack? Would somebody who doesn't love themselves see a world that it looks like they aren't loved in and people aren't loving themselves in? Yeah. How do I know I've been fooled? As soon as I tell myself, you want to ever know when you're fooling yourself? Let me give you a tip from the course. Soon as you say about anything that you're going through and you tell yourself, if that was different, I'd be happy. Soon as I say, if you were different, I'd be happy. Soon as I say, if I lived in another city, I'd be happy. If I lived in another house, I'd be happy. If I had another car, I'd be happy. Because the truth is, whatever I'm seeing is a reflection of what I'm thinking in my mind. So God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. So would that mean then that when you look out at the world, you're really getting a really clear picture of what you are seeing in your mind? Could we agree? Right? It's really not that abstract and weird what I'm talking about. If you really think about it, it's really obvious. Right now, whatever I'm telling myself while I'm looking at you is what I'm teaching myself. Because all of us have thoughts behind the thoughts that we share. Right? So the truth is teaching. It's not what I'm saying to you that's teaching me. It's what I'm telling myself about you while I'm talking to you. That's what's teaching me. So I could be smiling in your face and in my mind telling myself, I can't trust you. So what I'm really teaching myself is, I can't trust you, regardless of what I'm saying to you. It's the thoughts that are behind what you're saying that's really teaching you. So I'm teaching you, you're giving meaning to what I'm teaching you, and then you are reacting to the meaning that you're giving me. So it's you really giving yourself this class. Yeah. It looks like but I'm not. You're not hearing what I say. You're hearing your interpretation of what I'm saying. And it's your interpretation of what I'm saying that's teaching you. Agreed? Have I lost anybody? That's why you are giving everything you think to yourself. See, so what I have learned to do through the course is every time I find myself telling myself something negative and fearful, I use that as a cue that I need to tell myself one of these ideas. So I use my fear, anger, upset thoughts to remind me of the truth. So now negative experiences remind me of positive things. And don't forget, what I think is what I see. So if I'm ever going to see God, if I'm ever going to see love, if I'm ever going to see the truth, it's going to be because it's in my mind. So people are looking for the higher power, the love out there. And that's like standing in front of a mirror and expecting it to reflect something other than what you're wearing. Because the world is just a three-dimensional reflection of what you think. People who are asleep, who don't know the truth, they're walking around hunting for other people who are going to make them happy and fulfill them. And so that's what people tend to do in their relationships. They're looking for the person to make them happy, to fulfill them. And they don't know it's real easy to have a relationship with someone who loves you and cares about you. It's not hard at all. All you have to do is be what you want to have, give it to yourself, and nurture yourself, and then you'll watch the world start to absolutely give you that love that you are seeking out there for somebody to give you, so you will feel good about yourself. And like I've said often, you all don't have to worry about it because you're all cute. So you'll be okay if you just don't talk too much. You know, just be quiet and smile. You know, because for a lot of people, I don't know about you, but there are a lot of people that's just attracted to people because of the way their bodies look. Why do you think we spend so much time trying to make sure our bodies look good? Because we're in a world that we know that people think if you look good, you are good. So if I want to see love, I've got to do what? I've got to see it in my mind. So it says, in my where? In my own mind, behind all my sense of thoughts of separation, behind all my thoughts of attack, is the knowledge that we are all one forever. You and I are joined forever. You and I are connected forever. Forever. We have been connected forever because we are one forever. And then it says, I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I've forgotten it. Just because you don't know that you're a totally beautiful, loving being doesn't mean it's not true. Just because you may not feel good about yourself doesn't mean that you're not valuable. You can think the most negative thoughts about yourself that you could possibly want to think, and it wouldn't change your value. You are valuable. You are valuable because you exist. You're valuable because you were created. Something thought you up. You didn't create yourself. Something created you. You didn't create yourself. So something wanted you to exist. Those are profound kinds of questions, right? Something wanted you to be here, or you wouldn't exist. So there obviously must be a creator if there's a creation. The problem is we were taught things about our creator that's not loving. So there are a lot of us that rebelled against a lot of the things we were taught when we were growing up because there was a part of us that knew it wasn't true, and it sounded frankly like our creator was a sadist or something, and in terms of the way it was described to us. And so we weren't taught that we were born in total innocence. We weren't taught that we were born without guilt. I don't know about you, but I was taught I was born in sin. That just by showing up, I was bad. Just because I was born, I was bad. Not only that, I was taught that the one son of the Creator died because of something I did before I was born.
Yeah.
And so I was a kid that would go, what?
Yeah.
And then I would question, and then my elders would say, you don't question it. You don't question the Bible. You don't question. But I was like, okay, how did two of everything on earth to get on a boat? I can't even get 7 people in my car. Okay. But anyway, so sometimes those of us who use any form of reason and logic, a lot of times, a lot of the stuff that we were taught just doesn't make any sense. And then we were shamed that we didn't buy into it. And that's because you knew at some level your creator is love and not fear, and that you are love and not fear. Okay? So people form relationships with people who reflect back to them what they believe about themselves. So your partner, your friends, they're always a reflection of the value you have about yourself. Remember that. The people you gravitate to, they're the people who are reflecting your energy, your frequency, where you are coming from. So don't get depressed behind that. Because don't forget, you're cute. So you got it covered. I'm gonna keep on reminding you of that, right? So, and what's the last sentence? The last sentence is, what I have forgotten what I am, but it's been kept for me in the mind of my Creator, in the mind of love, right? See, if I have a loving mind and I have a loving attitude toward you, even when you forget it, I'm not going to let you forget it because I have a mind of love about you. You hear that? So the course is very practical. I've forgotten it sometimes, who I really am, which is love and deserving love. But just because I forgot it doesn't mean that I can forget I'm Earl Purdy, doesn't mean I'm no longer Earl Purdy because I've forgotten I'm Earl Purdy. So because you've forgotten that you are innocent and that you're loved and you're not alone and you deserve help and there's a divine plan for your life, and if you were to do that divine plan, you would find the struggle in your life would go away because you're doing what you were born to do. And people who are struggling are usually people who have forgotten that they are loved and forgotten who they really are. So the Course says, I've forgotten it. It's been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left God's thoughts. So what does that mean? I'm among the thoughts of love. You are among the thoughts of love. And you are one with the thoughts of love. And you are also one with me. The problem is we've forgotten that. That's the Course is like, the truth always teaches us that we're just having mass amnesia. We've forgotten who we are. He says because we think we created ourselves and we're trying to do things without our creator. Okay, that's it. The only problem anybody has anywhere is that they are separate from their creator. They lost sight of their connection to source. That's it. It's not hard what I'm teaching. It's just different. And you're not insane. You just, and I've just learned insane lessons. We were taught insanity, and then we see the insanity that we're taught. And so everything that I'm saying should be thrilling. It really should. If your butt's going to sleep, then you need to tune in, because that's the part of you that doesn't want to remember. It's the part of you that doesn't want to tune in on loving thoughts, because I'm just sharing loving thoughts. So this is food for the soul. This is manna. You know, this is in a world full of fear and separation and division and people being afraid of each other and thinking that they're a victim and that they're lacking and that we're not joined and connected. To have the opportunity to join together with each other, sharing ideas about how valuable we are and how much we deserve to have love, that is a miracle. That is what's needed. That's what I'm really putting out there over my website. You don't know how many thousands of people watch my classes every week who absolutely are saying the same thing. They've had it. There must be a better way. They want to be connected with people who want to wake up and grow and want to love, who know they got issues that they need to get past, but they're sick of all this separation and anger and racism and attack and misogyny and all the stupid stuff that's going on out of our fear. There are a lot of people just like you who want to join and want to join in peace and want to join in love. That's why I'm more than ever inviting people to come together in person, because it's time for us to come back in each other's presence again. And that's why I'm so grateful for the people online, and I'm also so grateful that you are here. But we're here so that we can hear some loving thoughts about ourselves, as well as get rid of the blocks that keep us from having the peace. So that's 56. That's lesson 56. Now I'm going to go to 57. Before I go to 57, I want you to think about when we review these lessons, it's like having a spiritual highlight reel. It's really going to be quick, it's going to be punchy, it's going to be unforgivable. And so I want you to turn to somebody that's next to you and say, you're about to get spiritually turbocharged. Tell somebody, you're about to be spiritually, you're about to be spiritually turbocharged. Hey, you're about to be spiritually, so good to see you. You're about to be spiritually turbocharged. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, so I want you to think of this as spiritual sticky notes that you're going to slap all over your consciousness. You know how you take sticky notes and put them all over things? Yeah. Well, these are spiritual sticky notes that you're going to stick all over your consciousness. So we're going to jump right in. And the first thought in lesson 57 that we need to remember is, I am not the victim of the world I see. What? I am not the victim of the world I see. Whoops. Okay, I guess we need a new excuse for not doing the dishes. Okay. Oh, I'm not the victim of the world I see. I'm not the victim of the boss I see. I'm not the victim of the mate I see. I'm not the victim of the bank account I see. I'm not the victim of the I see. I'm not the victim. I am not the victim. I'm not. What used to just really upset me a lot when I was growing up in a chocolate body was I was constantly told I was a victim of everything all the time because of the color of my skin. I'm a victim of this and I'm a victim of that and I can't do this and I can't do that. And it was like, oh my God, it was like my body was a prison because it was looking like I was limited just because of the color of my body's skin. Notice I said my body's skin, right? And just because of that, there would be people that wouldn't like me or wouldn't like me around. I played in a band back in the day when it was very unusual for there to be, in the South where I grew up, black folk and white folk doing anything together, okay? And I played in the band. I was the only one with a black body in the band, and which was already unusual. And so we had to do a gig one night, and it was kind of like out in the woods, kind of like when people do stuff, out there. And guess who we were playing for that I didn't know? The Ku Klux Klan.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the Ku Klux Klan. I played saxophone. I played my butt off that night. You have never seen me play my horn the way that I played my horn that night.
Gee.
But the thing that was interesting was because I was in a band that was an integrated band, which already was showing that I wasn't coming from a racist place, neither were my friends that were in the band with me. We had an energy of love and peace, even though we appeared to be different. So guess what? Because love and peace was in my mind, non-racism was in my mind, all I had was a peaceful experience of those people, and they treated me as if I was totally innocent. Why? Because love was in my mind, and so love was what I saw. Peace was in my mind, so peace was what I experienced. And that's also true about every encounter that I've ever had so far with a policeman or a person in law enforcement. The exact same thing. I always meet officer friendly because I have an attitude of I want to extend peace, especially to those who I'm tempted to be programmed to believe are going to be my enemy. So at some point you got to practice this stuff. You can't just wait for everybody else to change while you stay the same. Like it said, I'm not a victim of the world I see, right? Which is, so let's read that little paragraph. I'm not the victim of the world I see. How can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I choose to? That's really deep, you all. I'll say that again. Why is it that I'm not a victim of the world I see? I'm not a victim of anything that I can change. That's why I'm not a victim. Because I might be dealing with a situation where I see myself as being a victim of my finances. But I'm not a victim of my finances because my financial situation can be undone. And if something can be changed, you can continue to see yourself as a victim of it because it can be undone. So notice that everything the Course says, it always explains it right in the sentence. How can I be a victim of a world that can be completely undone? What's the last part of that sentence? If I so choose. See, I had to choose how I wanted to see the people that I was with. I had to choose how I'm going to see you. I have to choose how I want to feel about you. So I'm not a victim of you because I can completely undo the way I see you if I choose. Then what's the next sentence? My chains are loosened. What are my chains? Seeing myself as a victim is a chain. Okay. I know that out of over 5 or 6 billion people, there's at least 10 that could love me. Hey, I know that. All right. And you're juicy and cute, too. I know. Well, you all definitely don't look like the Ku Klux Klan. I'll tell you that. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Oh, I could tell you some stories. You wouldn't believe it. And so, then it says the prison door is open. He says, I can drop the chains. What's that? Seeing myself as a victim. How? By just desiring to. All I have to do is desire to look at you all differently. And if I decide to look at you all differently, I can choose to look at you differently. And if I choose to look at you differently, I don't have to see myself as a victim of you. So where in your life right now are you seeing yourself as a victim? Where is it in your life right now that you don't realize that situation could be undone in terms of how you look at it? So you could drop the chains. It says by desiring to do so, the prison door is open. So what happens if the prison door is open? I can leave simply by walking out. Sometimes when I was in situations, and I know you have been in situations that were upsetting to you, and you just left. I bet you every one of you all have had that experience at some time in your life where the situation was unacceptable and you just left. But you didn't do it in some of your relationships. Even though it was just as uncomfortable and even though it wasn't bringing you any joy, you didn't just recognize the misery and go the other way. There's a line in the Course of Miracles that says that. Recognize misery and go the other way. You know, if I'm walking down the path in the woods and I see a bear, I'm not going to process with it. I'm not going to try to talk it out. I'm going to try to go the other way. So where in your life do you need to just leave? Sometimes it's who in your life that you just need to leave. Well, if I love myself and all I'm getting from you is no love and just attack, and I've done everything in my power to communicate with you and work this out, see if we can both make a decision not to be victims of each other, don't forget, and remember this now, if you're not a victim, if I'm not a victim of the world I see, then you're also not a victim of the world you see, which means that the way you feel, you're giving yourself those feelings, and the way I feel, I'm giving myself those feelings. That's who's giving you the feelings that you have in that relationship is you. And that's coming from some level of seeing yourself as a victim of somebody else. I would like for you to entertain the idea of, and this is a way out concept, focus on what I say that you could join with, that you could apply, and that you can use, rather than looking for what I say that you can say yes, but, and disagree with. Just try that. Just try for once to go, all right, what am I hearing that resonates with me? And what I'm going to do is that's my way of knowing that my inner self is in alignment with my perception of this. So I'm going to use that because that's something that I resonate with. So we are joining with each other, and it's through joining with each other that we make things happen. That's why that's why after the class I do a 20-minute period of discussion and asking questions and answering questions and all that kind of stuff. So because what I want to do and what I want to primarily do is use my classes to hear the truth, to allow us to hear the way it is before we try to destroy it with our analyzation of it, as the Course puts it. You know, say you want to make sure you don't get something, just start analyzing it. But why am I analyzing? Why would I want to fight the idea that I'm loved? Why would I want to fight the idea that I don't have to be a prisoner? Why would I fight the idea that my pain and suffering can be undone? What would make me want to fight those ideas? It would be the part of me that still wants to suffer. And it would be the part of me that still wants to be right more than it wants to be happy. And do you know what I would do with a person like that? I would simply let them be and still remember that they're not a victim, whether they don't agree with me or not. See, the truth doesn't require anybody else's validation or agreement. For me to apply this to myself has nothing to do with whether or not you agree with me, because if you have to agree with me, I shouldn't even be in front of the class. if everybody's got to agree necessarily with what I'm saying. But let me ask you a question. Are you really questioning what I'm saying?
No.
Or are you questioning your interpretation of what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm saying. We hear something, we interpret it, and then we project that we understood and heard just what that person said. So we're still doing what? So in that case, I'm a victim of my own thoughts. So I want you to think of it. Okay, raise your hand if any time within the last week you blamed traffic for your mood. Okay, all right. Also, the next time you're stuck, you want to remember this idea, and then you want to choose how you want to respond. So what I'm going to do is I'm upset again, and so I'm in a bad mood, and so I need to remember this idea that I'm not the victim of this traffic. I'm not the victim of this situation. Have you ever known you had a long drive, and because you knew you had a long drive, you were patient the whole drive because you expected it to be a long drive, right? So your attitude made the trip not be stressful for you, right? Because you had already accepted that it was. So are you willing to accept that there are some parts of you that doesn't know that you're not a victim, and you're in the process of learning that you're not a victim, and you're in the process of learning how to see yourself another way, and now you know how I need to take these ideas and I need to apply these ideas to what I'm seeing. Because it just told us it's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to us and will show us that the idea is true. So we can sit around and discuss it all day long, but it's not until you start to use it that you'll see that it's true. I still have the nasty habit of thinking that people and things and places need to be different sometimes before I can be happy. I know that. I'll go, well, I want to go listen to music later on today. And if it wasn't too hot, then I'd be happy. It's the same thing. So now my happiness is dependent on the weather, the temperature. Have you ever done that? Yeah, we do it all the time. Even death. You know, I've had the transition of my mother, my father, a brother, and a sister that I was very close to. The only reason I was able to handle that as well as I was able to handle it and not be in denial about my own grief was I had learned through A Course in Miracles that there is no death, that they laid their body down, and who and what we really are transcends the body. All of us know that, but we've forgotten it at some level. Death doesn't make sense to any of us, if we be honest. It doesn't make any sense that some infinite creator would create us just to have us hang around worrying about paying bills and die. You know what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. You know, it's like, that would be an insane creator. But the truth is, and we don't have to believe it, but the truth is, death is a liberation that frees you to go back to your original state and your original home. And this is a school that we are learning how to love in. Earth is a school. All of us know that. And some people have forgotten it, and they're suffering as a result. But the people that are willing to remember that they're coming here to let go of their blocks and to allow themselves to receive their abundance and prosperity, they get all kinds of visible and invisible help because they're doing what they came here to do. Like I came here to do this. You know, I've been an astrologer and numerologist for 40 years. I've taught this for 40 years. And people ask me, well, how can you do that and teach the course? Well, then you're thinking about your interpretation of what you think astrology is. So you're never reacting to anything that you don't know anything about other than your own interpretation of it, right? The course totally shares why I could do that. Why? It says because there's nothing that you can make. There's no talent that you have. There's no skill that you have that can be used by higher power in order for you to learn through and remember who you are. But all an astrological chart is just a blueprint of the intentions of your soul when you came here. It was the thing that's there to help remind you why you came in the first place. It's like your, what you call it? Your appointment book, you know, you write down what you're going to do, and you realize that that's what you want to use that day to do. Well, that appointment book doesn't control you. It just reminds you of what you intended to do. The same thing with it's just a message. It's another way for you to get information. You don't have to fumble around in the dark for 20 years to find out you would be an excellent psychologist. That's written in the stars right when you're born. Spirit is telling you this would be a thing that you would be good at in order to fulfill your function of loving. Now, the issue is, will you love yourself enough to do the thing that you would be so beautiful at and so gifted at? But if I got low self-esteem, I'm not going to learn how to play saxophone if I don't think I can and I don't think I'm worthy to do it, even though that was a talent of mine. So if I was a victim of my thinking, which is most people are, they're a victim of their thinking, then they could have a life of ease and a life that's flowing if they would get out of their own way and let spirit, their higher self, guide them through the expression of their gifts and their talents, and they would be given what they need to stay. And they would not be dealing with worrying about things. Because all worrying about things means is you're trusting in your own strength and not trusting in the strength of God. It just means you're trying to do it all by yourself, figuring it up on your own, and even if you're telling yourself you're giving it to spirit, you haven't really done it yet. You're really just practicing. And sometimes I had to practice before I could play. So we're practicing like we really have faith. We're practicing and acting like we love everybody. We're just practicing. We haven't mastered that, because if you've mastered it, you have no fear. That's how you know. If you mastered it, you have joy. You have fulfillment. You have it's easy to tell when you're lying to yourself. You're sad. You're mad. You're unhappy. You're depressed. You're bored. That just means your own ego has run out of ideas. You can't figure out the plan that you're making for yourself isn't going the way that you think it should go. And now you're unhappy. That person isn't doing what I think I want them to do. So I think of myself as a victim of them, a victim. So I made the decision I was not going to see myself as a victim of my body. I wasn't going to see myself as a victim of the color of my skin. So I asked my invisible guide, my invisible teacher. I was in touch with my guardian angel when I was a child. A lot of us were. It wasn't until we got older, mostly when puberty hit, the hormones got to popping, that we really forget who we really are. You can watch kids. Kids are much more in tune with what's really going on a lot of times than we are, because they haven't had the opportunity yet to be completely hypnotized and mesmerized by the insane teachings of guilty minds that don't know they're loved. Wow. So that's why the Course is saying to us, the prison door is open. I can leave it by simply walking out, which means what? Nothing holds me in this world. So the world, what is your world? Your world is your perception. So you could just as easily say, nothing is holding me in this perception. Nothing is keeping me in this perception. Then it says, only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. So if I want to stay a victim, then my wish to keep seeing now how do I know I have a wish to keep seeing myself as a victim? I'm still blaming everything and everybody for what I'm going through. If I hadn't been born back in the South to a poor family, then my life would be working right now. If my mother and father had not separated, then I'd be happy right now. Anybody for me? That's me saying I'm a victim of things that can be undone because I can change my mind now. Regardless of my childhood, regardless of what I went through, right now I can choose not to see myself as a victim. So the Course says, well, why don't you say it? I would give up my insane wishes. It's my wish to be a prisoner that keeps me a prisoner, so what am I going to do? I'm going to give up my insane wishes. What's an insane wish? To see myself as a victim of anything and anybody around me. See, every question you have about the Course is answered right where you're reading. That's what I try to share with people all the time. It's not a book that you read it and then you lean back and you go, let me figure it out. Let me give it my interpretation of what I think. You don't have to give it your interpretation. It just said it right there. How could you be a victim if it can be completely undone? Which means the chains are loosened, which means you can drop it anytime you desire to. The door is open to your happiness. You can leave the unhappiness simply by what? Walking out. Nothing's holding me to this perception. And guess what? It's just my wish to keep thinking of myself as a victim and lacking that makes me a prisoner. And guess what? I want to give up that crap. I want to walk into the sunlight at last.
Yes.
Does anybody you see yourself as a victim of? Is anything you see yourself as a victim of? Isn't it funny, if you want to get to the truth of how you feel, all you got to do is don't use your thoughts, use your feelings. That's how you keep from fooling yourself the quickest. I could say, I don't have any grievances against anybody. Yeah, Earl, but do you have any fear, any guilt, any worry, any concern, in the sense that you're powerless about what's happening in your life right now in any kind of way, then you still have thoughts that you're a victim. Even though your mind might say that's not the case. Your feelings won't lie to you. Because your feelings always lead you back to what you really believe. You can tell yourself anything in your thoughts. But your feelings, they really tell the truth about you. Every time. I've forgiven you. Walk up on you in King's Super Grocery Store and then go down another aisle. Don't want to even be on the side. So I haven't forgiven you. My feelings showed me. But then I've been studying the truth, and I'm Mr. Spiritual, and then I'll say stuff like, I love everybody. I've forgiven everybody. I've forgiven my mom. I've forgiven my dad. I've forgiven the past. I just can't stand being in the same room with them. You know what I'm saying? We do it all the time. It's so funny. You know, I so many truth students will say, I love everybody. What you're saying, I love everybody, right? And when you say stuff like that, that's your goal. Your goal is to love everybody. Your purpose is to love everybody. But if you say that, and you really think you do, and you really don't, because you got people that you know you don't want to meet or you want to talk to, those people will show up in your experience so fast it'll make your head spin. Because they're letting you see the thoughts that you have that you're in denial about. I'll say that again. If I say I love everybody, and then that part of me doesn't love everybody and can't love everybody, how would I become aware of that unless somebody showed up I couldn't love? So it'd be better to say, I don't love everybody, I want to love everybody. I want to love everybody. I'm doing the best I can to get rid of this feeling that I'm a victim so I can love everybody. Okay, well, since you're acknowledging that there's a part of you that needs to be healed, there's no need for the universe to bring somebody in your life to show you that you need to be healed. I'm going to keep asking y'all. Y'all following me? Yeah. If I'm in denial, I'm going to meet the thing I'm in denial about. So if I wake up and say, I know I have a temper, I know I feel selfish sometimes, and I just want to do it my way, and I want to rule, and I want to get past that. I want to get past my lack. I want to get past that. I know I have lack thoughts. Then there's no need for me to be shown I have lack thoughts because I already have acknowledged that. So now I can move on to my thoughts of abundance. But if I'm lying to myself, then I show myself what I'm lying about. Right? Okay. So how does that relate to what we're saying? It relates by us realizing that I've invented the world I see. So I want you to think of a recent drama that you have experienced. And I want you to imagine that you're holding a director's clipboard and shouting, cut! Whatever that drama is that you're dealing with right now, you're the director. What do directors do? They say, cut! Relationship, cut! What's happening on my job? Cut! What's happening with my health? Cut! You're the director. Yell cut. And tell yourself, I have invented the world I see. So let's read it right quick. I'm going to show you how the Course in Miracles is so easy to read. I made up the prison I see in which I see myself. See, notice that it's talking in the first person. Which you could say, I made up the what? being a victim in which I see myself. All I need to do is recognize I made up the prison and I am free. I'm upset because of what I think you did to me and what I think you're doing. All I have to recognize is that I'm making myself feel this way. And if I recognize that I'm the one that's making myself feel this way, then I could make myself not feel this way, and then I would be free. I have deluded myself into believing that it's possible to imprison a child of God. So what is a deluded person? A deluded, here you are, the child of the most powerful, unlimited being that ever existed. I want you to hear that. You are a creation of love. You are an extension of joy. You are beautiful. You're beautiful beyond measure. You are so beautiful that I can't even see it. It's so much more than I can see that I can't even comprehend it. That's how beautiful you are. You're so beautiful that anything I think about you, my most beautiful thought about you, wouldn't do you justice. Be glad that you are more loved than other people can see you as being loved. Thank God there's something that will forgive you and that your blessings don't depend on your brothers and sisters forgiving you. Woo! That would be the most unfair thing that our Creator could ever do, would be to make our good be dependent on what everybody else decides to give you. But that's what we set it up though, right? We set it up like, until you forgive me, then I can't be happy. My happiness depends on you being willing to say, you forgive me. That puts my happiness and keeps me what? A victim of you. And so you're the one that's inventing the way that you see me. You're inventing the way you see me. You're inventing the way you see every one of you right now. You're looking at your own invention. I am your perception of me is your invention. Got it? So you can either see yourself as a victim of me, or you can see yourself as someone who is benefiting through me. But it's going to be your invention, and that's what the Course is saying. But I've deluded myself into believing it's possible to imprison a child of love. So what do? I admit that I was bitterly mistaken. Not regular. Bitterly mistaken. Guess what? Then what else it say? In this what? Belief. What is the belief? The belief that it's possible to imprison you. You're imprisoned by your belief that it's possible for you to be in prison. So you're imprisoned by your belief that you believe it's possible for you to be a victim. Well, what about if somebody robs me? Then I'm a victim. Right? Because the wrong mind, the ego mind, always goes to some physical situation or condition to try to invalidate whatever the truth is saying. You probably have seen yourself do that since I've been talking. You go to the yes, but. You know, the person that gets robbed is not a victim unless they see themselves as a victim. It's still the same principle. I'm going to see you according to how I see things in my mind. So I could be robbed and not see myself as a victim because I can change the way that I'm choosing to look at it. So seeing yourself as a victim or not has nothing to do with the physical situation that you're dealing with. It has to do with the way you choose to see yourself. So I choose not to see myself as a victim. Now, what can I do to make sure I don't attract a robber to prove that I think I'm a victim, right? All I got to do is say, there may be a part of me that still thinks I'm a victim. Then I don't have to have the situation show up. And therefore, I can do what? What's that next word? It says, I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The child of God must be forever free. You must be free forever. You must be free forever because you are as love, the Creator, created you. And guess what? I am the way that which created me. And thank God I am not what I would make of myself. See, I would make of myself sometimes unworthy. I'll make myself feel like I'm not good enough, or that I can't be loved, or that I can't be. I don't want to be what I make of myself sometimes to not really see the beauty in me. I'm thankful that I'm not what I make of myself. And you need to be thankful that you're not what you make of yourself. And even more than that, be grateful that you're not what someone else is trying to make of you. That's a really good one. Because what happens when you no longer believe that you're unworthy? Someone could stand in front of you and be saying the most negative, mean, hateful, critical, judgmental things to you. But because it's no longer your image of yourself, it has absolutely no effect on you at all. That's how you can tell when you change your mind and you have now given yourself a new image of yourself, is the ego, the part that attack, the mean, the judgment, it rolls right off you because you know it's not true. So if you get upset about something that somebody's saying to you, you believe it. I call you stupid and you go, I ain't no stupid, what you talking about? What do you mean I'm stupid? You say, you stupid. You believe you're stupid. If you didn't believe you were stupid, you would just listen to what I was saying and it would have no effect on you at all because it's not true. It's like if you were to call me Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? And I'm not Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. What you talking about? I'd just be looking at you because I know I'm not. So your feelings let you know what? That you've invented the world you see. Then it says the child of God must be forever free. And this said love. The Course says it's only talking about love or fear, so don't let the language bother you. Okay, the child of love must be forever free. Love is as love created you and not what you made of yourself. You are where love would have you be. You are where God would have you be, and not where you thought to hold you prisoner. So, here I go. I'm not the victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. I'm not the victim of this situation. I've invented this situation. When I'm teaching, I've seen my classes go all kinds of ways in terms of people who show up or don't show up. And first thing the Course in Miracles taught me was the people who come to my classes are always sent. That you're not here by accident. Something sent you, whether it was something within you. So therefore, I don't know who's going to be here from class to class. So if I was a conscious being, I would never judge my success by numbers. And I would never judge my success by how many people, the quantity. It would be, Spirit sending someone to have a message delivered to them through me in the way that it comes through me, they can relate to. So somebody that Spirit sends to you as a friend, as a lover, as a teacher, or anything, would be a person who could accept you as you are, and the way you are turns them on. Not the way you're going to be, not the way they're going to try to make you over, not based on all the things they do or not do. In other words, you will be free because you know that you are still the way love created you, and you are okay just the way you are. So a person who loves you, they're not coming into your experience to make you be different. They realize they are a conscious being, knows that they are the one that's inventing the way that they're seeing you. See, I realize the way I see you, I'm inventing it. And guess what? I am not the victim because I can change the way I'm seeing you and it can be undone. Everybody got it? Does it make sense? Does that make sense? So what you want to do is rewrite the scenario in your own mind right now. But you want to do it with compassion, and you want to do it with humor. Right? You want to have some fun. If you want to see your life get better, you want to have more prosperity, you want to have people come into your life that love you, stop being someone that's not giving what you want to receive. If you want to receive joy and fun, you have to be it yourself. Be what you want to have. In other words, that would be a positive idea of inventing. That would be inventing in a way that's in alignment with the truth about you. So if I go, okay, I'm going to see myself as a person that deserves to be supported and deserves to be loved. I'm a person that deserves to be supported and deserves to be loved. I'm a person that deserves to be supported and deserves to be loved. I'm a person that wants to be supported and wants to be loved. What can I do to support you? What can I do to support you? Now, you wouldn't ask me to support you in any other way other than the way I wanted to. Ooh. I'll say it again. Somebody that loves me only wants me to help them the way that I want to. Because they never want me to feel like I'm sacrificing. So someone that really loves you, that they always have the caveat of, yeah, I would love your support that you want to give the way you want to give it. Because I know that pretty much might really happen. Because that's what you want to do. So you see, when you start waking up, you go, oh, I want to get this done. Well, why don't I ask the person that wants to do it? Rather than, oh, I want to get this done. I've decided you're going to be the one to do it, and I'm going to spend all my time making you do it because I have invented this world that I'm imprisoning myself in by seeing myself as a victim of everything and everybody else, and I'm waiting for everything outside of myself to change in order for me to be happy. So I'm a prisoner of my own victimhood. So a person that loves you, a person that has a lot of power, then they're taking responsibility for their feelings. They're taking responsibility for their happiness. So they're not with you expecting you to make them happy. Y'all are coming together to join in happiness. And if I'm not holding you responsible for my happiness, I haven't invented the world that I'm a victim of you, then I'm empowering myself and I'm empowering you. Because I'm not holding you responsible for how I'm feeling. But guess what? You can't put a guilt trip on me either. Because I know I'm not making you feel the way you feel either. And so that's love. Because we're both taking responsibility together or trying to learn how to take responsibility together. Empower each other together. I know exactly the kind of person that's most compatible with me. I know exactly what the person would say to me that I'm supposed to join with on any level at any time because I know myself. I know I'm a child of God. I know I deserve love. I know I'm responsible for what's going on in my life, and I'm the one that's creating it. I know if I don't feel guilty, I won't punish myself. So I want to be with people who recognize my innocence, and I recognize theirs. And we know that if we can let ourselves have joy together without trying to make each other feel guilty, then we're going to have joy come to us from everywhere together. And it's going to totally and completely get us out of our victim consciousness because you're seeing who you are behind the image that you're making up of yourself. Does that see what I'm saying? I got an image of myself that I'm insecure and I don't deserve to be happy or that I have lack. That's me being a victim of a world Earl. I'm not a victim of the Earl I see. So I'm here to remind you that you're still as God created you. You are still loved. You're still lovable. You are still deserving of nothing but happiness and abundance and joy. I don't care what you think about yourself. And my job is to see you past the image you have of yourself. Like I said at the very beginning, behind the image that I have of you is the love. It's the truth about you. So I'm going to stop here so that I can try to remember that. Cut! Cut! All right. Now, I'm going to do one more little quick review. If you want to share with me, I appreciate it. I'm a full-time teacher of the course. The Holy Spirit said, there, ask and you shall be given. If you are really tech savvy out there, what you can do is use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Square. All you need is my email address. That's Earl Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y. Earl Purdy at earlpurdy.com. Go to my website. I got a brand new website, www.earlpurdy.com. Got an incredible newsletter that I'm sending out that I want you to check out. All my classes on YouTube and also on Facebook. So you can continue to hear this. The answer is not understanding. The answer is repeating the truth until you believe it. It's about repetition and remembering, not analyzation and understanding. The Course in Miracles teaches that our understanding is not a powerful contribution to the truth. He said, your understanding is not a powerful contribution to the truth. It doesn't make it true because you understand it. It's not like you're not going to be helped unless you understand you deserve it. You do deserve it, whether you understand it or whether you believe it or not. And notice I'm giving you what I want to receive because I know that's how I will attract it into my life, is to want it for you. And since we're not in a special relationship, I don't have a lot of scripts for you, and you don't have a lot of scripts for me. So we save all of the part of us that wants to control for the people that we care about the most. And the people that we are not special with, we free them to live their life joyously, however they want to live it. Isn't that a trip? The people I am not in special relationship with, in a way, I treat them with more tolerance and understanding than the people I think I'm close to, that I'm inventing the roles that I'm making for them, blaming them as if I'm a victim of how they are not taking care of me. And so I had to realize it was a part of me that was also blaming God. Was even seeing myself as a victim. I'm so cute and I'm so nice. Why am I not having everything that I need right now? Why do I think I'm suffering so hard when I study and I read and I'm just a good person and I'm sweet? And, why am I suffering? Because it's making you aware that you have some thoughts about yourself still, that you are a victim, that you haven't let go of yet. So just recognize that that's all you have to do, is allow yourself to realize it can be undone. So just, even if you don't know how it's going to be undone, you just want to remind yourself that it can be undone. And if you're sincere, then the way to undo your victim false beliefs about yourself is going to show up. And if it comes from the Creator, according to this, it will be in a way that's easy for you and you're motivated to do. Okay? Nobody's forcing me to sit here. Nobody's forcing me to read this or study this. And that's so I know it's my path. Plus I'm getting the results. Because if we're in a world that we've been taught to sacrifice, then why would our Creator, who's trying to teach us love, try to give us a path that it feels like it's a sacrifice for us to do, and we have to force ourselves to do it? That would be what the world already makes us feel about everything. So a path that's coming from your true self, that's coming from love, that's coming from God, the Course says the way you know it is that obstacles will be removed before you even reach them. And then when I hear something like that, it was like, damn, I haven't really been on my path. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, I see my life as a struggle. You could be on your path, but you're not seeing it correctly. Because it always comes back to what is the world that you're inventing. But if it's just in your mind, then you can change it any time. See, if it's dependent on me changing, then it's no telling when you'll get what you want. Especially if you're trying to get from me something I don't want to give you. That's your surefire sign that you know you don't want what you asking for. Is you will go to the very person that won't give it to you. It can't get no easier than that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can I say I really want love and I'm spending all my time with somebody that don't love me? No, that means quite obviously what? I right now have invented a world that is making me feel like I'm a victim of my relationships. And so all I have to do is go, you know, I was created by some of the most incredible love that you could ever imagine. So why in the world would I be in a situation or a friendship or a relationship and this person has not shown me 1 ounce of real appreciation ever, doesn't even see me, doesn't recognize me. Oh, I think I'm broke. I don't have enough money. Okay, that means I'm not fulfilling my function, because the promise is if I come here and do the thing that I came here to do, I would be given what I need to stay. And it would come to you in the form that felt like your right job or your right career or no career at all. You inherit it. You're going to be taken care of if you finally let yourself no longer be a victim and see that you deserve love and see that you really deserve happiness. And if you don't know how to do that, the purpose of these curriculums is to teach you how to let go of the blocks so that you can let all of your good that's been stored up for you forever. You know what this book says, Spirit says through this book, look, this is the way it works. You're not letting yourself have the happiness and the prosperity and abundance that you deserve to have. So this is what I'm going to do for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save it all up. All the good that you could have been giving yourself your whole life that you haven't been letting yourself have, I'm saving it for you. I'm saving it for you. So you haven't lost anything. Even if you think you have not been happy for 10 years, all the love you deserved that whole 10 years is being saved for you with interest. What interest? Your interest. It's waiting for you to have some interest in it. Right? So anyway, I love hearing sanity. I love hearing some sanity. So I'm available for sessions, clarity session, and astrological numerology. If you're wondering what the hell's going on, I might be able to help you in terms of spirit sharing with you what it is you're supposed to be doing right now that would allow you to get rid of the blocks to your happiness. And you know who you are because you will be the person that reaches out to me. It's that simple. That's how I know I'm supposed to talk to you, because you go to my website and you book an opportunity to share with me, because you're not so special that you have a problem that God cannot solve. You just ain't that special. You know, your best efforts to delay your happiness are not going to work. Okay? You're going to fail miserably at staying miserable. You're going to fail miserably at not being abundant and loved and happy. I'm sorry. You're going to fail.
All right.
All right?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And I got to say, all right? All right? All right? Okay. All right. So today's thoughts, what were the thoughts we covered today? We covered God is in everything I see. Love is in everything I see. Love is in everything I see. God, which is love, is in everything I see, because love is where? In my mind. I am not the victim of the world I see. I am not the victim of the world I see. Why? Because I have invented the world I see. So I'm getting upset. Okay, I invented that. Okay, I'm getting upset. Okay, I'm not the victim of this. I'm not the victim of my boss. I'm not the victim of my weight. I'm not the victim of my sex. I'm not the victim of my race. I'm not the victim. I'm not the victim. I'm inventing the way that I'm seeing it. So the way you are, how beautiful you are, how loved you are, how wonderful you are, That's you hearing through me how a part of you feel about yourself. I wouldn't be sitting up here saying this, and you wouldn't be hearing it unless you felt that way about yourself. I am the witness that you all have value, regardless of what you think about yourself. And guess what? It doesn't matter what you think about yourself. I can still value you.